Okay, we are ready, and we would like to encourage everybody, please, to sit forward. Everybody sits so far away and all these empty seats, and then people have nowhere to sit when they come in behind you. So if you will please move your bodies forward. Shifu would definitely scold you for being so selfish. And you just take this. You don't want to commit to sitting up front. You sit up front. Go ahead. Come on. I'm a vegetarian. I won't eat you. All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Heng Sure. It is Sunday, the 1st of September, here in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, at Gold Buddha Monastery. And I have the happy job of explaining the Avatamsaka Sutra for Sunday night at the City of 10,000 Buddhas. So this is the Sunday night Sutra lecture at City of 10,000 Buddhas from Gold Buddha Monastery in Vancouver, and usually it comes from the bush of Queensland, the forest of Queensland. So we're ahead of the game. We're in beautiful downtown Vancouver at the 40th anniversary of City of 10,000 Buddhas. And another feature of this lecture series is I do my own translation into Chinese. I should apologize to you first, but you have to prepare your ears. They're going to be tired when you're done listening to me speak Chinese for 90 minutes. Okay. 各位阿弥陀佛啊，今天晚上我们从加拿大温哥华这个金佛寺我们庆祝第40周年金佛圣寺我人在温哥华这是万佛圣城星期天晚上的华严经佛学讲座欢迎大家参加我们现在准备请let's see here. Elaine is going to be our Dharma requester, and let's see here. I'm going to hold on here just a moment, be right with you. Get all this all figured out. Elaine is actually in Castro Valley, California. Okay, that's good. All right, what I'm going to do, I am going to ring the bell. Here we go. I'm going to ring the bell 3 times. I'm going to invite people to make 3 half bows from wherever you're sitting. And then Elaine is going to do the Dharma request. From Castro Valley, we are here in Vancouver, and there are almost 80 people online listening as well to Elaine do the Dharma request. So if you'd like to join me, I'll ring the bell 3 times. I can make 3 half bows and then have our 请法仪式。我现在敲眼睛，敲3下，大家可以从自己的座位上就行3问讯礼，然后呢 Elaine 来请法，好吧？ Okay, one moment, just a second here. There we go. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. Okay, Elaine, if you would like to request Dharma, please go ahead and do it now.
恭敬大德圣听，为此法会集一切众生，转妙法轮，教导我们如何了生脱失，离苦得乐，速证无生。Will the Sangha with great virtue, out of compassion, for the sake of this assembly, and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach us how to live suffering and attain bliss and end birth and death, and quickly realign on birth.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Namo sadanto suchedoye alahadi sammyao sambuddhosye.
Namo saranto sujedoye arahadi samyao sambuddhosye.
无上甚深微妙法，百千万劫难遭遇。我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。Supreme and wondrous Dharma, subtle and profound, rarely is encountered even in billions of eons. But now we see and hear it and accept it reverently. May we truly understand the Buddha's actual meaning. 好的，师父上人，各位师兄，大家阿弥陀佛。Why was I shouting you down? It's because you're louder than she was, and she's Qingfa, right? So you have ta wei zhu. Okay, Elaine, we appreciate your Dharma request. Welcome everybody again. We are going to, excuse me, we're going to invoke spiritual presence right now with this tune. This is the actual tune that people use when they chaoshan, that city of 10,000 Buddhas, bowing from the mountain gate to the Buddha hall. It's also the same tune that I recited perhaps 1,000,000 times on the road from Los Angeles to Wanfo-cheng while chanting the name of the Avatamsaka Sutra and the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the Flower Garland Assembly. 这个调子呢，如果各位在万佛城从大山门就叩头，就到了大殿呢，你就用这个调子。南无大方广佛华严经，华严海会佛菩萨。这个是在从这个洛杉矶金轮寺开始三步一拜到万佛城，也是用这个调子，可能100万多次哈。Ready? 7 times. Namo Da Fang Guang Fo Hua Yan Hai Hui Fo Pu Sa. Namo Da Hua Yan Jing Hua Yan Hai Fo Pu Sa. Namo Da we would like to acknowledge the Pomo people who practice their spiritual connections to the earth and to all creation here, that's to say in the Ukiah Valley, on their ancestral land for tens of thousands of years. Today we acknowledge them as traditional custodians and original storytellers of these lands. We offer our respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging, and to all First Nations people whose sovereignty was never ceded. 那就是说，我们恭敬地承认 Pomo 人是我们寺院所在地，就是万佛圣场的传统驱使者和守护人。我们向过去、现在和未来的长者们致敬，并且向所有从来没有放弃主权的第一民族的原住民致敬。Okay. The bells sound wide resounds throughout 100 million worlds. The Buddha's law is heard and spread all throughout the triple world. The wondrous sounds that everywhere fill the Dharma realm with peace. May those who hear it gain the strength to follow in faith the Buddha's path. 众生传3000劫内，佛法扬万亿国中，共献其法界和平，利益宝他诺后德。Okay, there we go. My goodness. I'm sure some folks are wondering, why did they do these things this way? Well, you are no stranger here at Gold Buddha Monastery to sutra lectures. In fact, the nuns here are very active in bringing the Dharma to the world using the internet, and we follow our teacher, 师父上人, Shen Gong Shanren. He taught us, as everybody knows, that Samantabhadra Pushyam Pusa gives us 10 vows, 10 things that take us quickly to Buddhahood if you follow the Avatamsaka Sutra. And number 5 of those is Qing Zhuan Fa Luan. Number 6, Qing Zhuan Fa, please turn the Dharma wheel. It's a request that you want to ask whoever is there and available, if it's a monk, if it's a nun, if it's a bodhisattva, if it's a Buddha, if it's your mother-in-law, you never know who's really going to be able to speak Dharma for you. But to make that formal request is a very powerful act. And I remember at Gold Mountain Monastery, back in the day, there was a layman named David Rounds, Guozhou. David was a very person with deep, good roots, Shangen and Shenhou. And David, Shifu was just finishing explaining was it the Fa Jing? Maybe it was the Jinggang Jing, I forget which one Shifu finished. And David, one day during the daily sutra lectures that Shifu arranged, every day for 90 minutes we would listen to Shifu explain a sutra. David came out with incense, walked around the Buddha, put the incense in the censer, bowed 3 times, and said, I don't really know how to do this, but I would like to respectfully request Master Shenhua to please teach us the Earth-Store Bodhisattva Sutra, for example. I might not have been the Dizang Jing. But Shifu said, everybody, pay attention. He said, what you just saw is very important for the future of the Dharma in the West. Here is a disciple who understands the importance of Qing Fa. And we're like, wow, Guozhou, that's pretty good. Shifu didn't praise his disciples very often, but he pointed out that this was a good thing to do. Because by simply making this formal request they say Ru Fa, in a way that accords the Dharma, you make it possible for everyone who's going to hear those teachings to deepen their wisdom, to get closer to the Buddha, potentially to end suffering for themselves through cultivation of their own nature. And it's better than walking down the central business district of Vancouver handing out $100 bills in terms of ultimate value. This is an important thing to do. So, this is Pushen Pusa Samantabhadra saying, Qingzhuan Falun, please request the Dharma to turn. So now, since COVID, we're online so much that we have people request Dharma online. And this sutra lecture that I'm doing is a Sunday night from City of 10,000 Buddhas virtually. Often my body is in Australia, but I'm lecturing to represent the Pomo people from the Ukiah Valley. And I'm going to explain the華嚴經. Last night, we did the Ru Fa Jie Pin, entering the Dharma realm, chapter 39. Tonight is chapter 25. And often I lecture on that from the Gold Coast Dharma realm in Queensland, Australia. And so we have somebody right there on the spot requesting Dharma. So this is an important event in the life of the Dharma here in Canada and worldwide, as long as there are disciples who say, I really would like to hear more sutra. I would like to deepen my own wisdom, This is a very powerful act that we do. So I want to explain what it is why we're doing what we do. 就说这个请法的意思呢，这个是普贤菩萨，大行普贤王菩萨摩诃萨，就是那位，他就在那边 sitting on this elephant, right? You recognize him? I think we see him so often we don't see him anymore, right? 他就在我们的台上，就是那边，我说那边就是那边，看到普贤菩萨吗？大家 ，There he is. OK， 这边是文殊师利菩萨，在一个青色、绿色的狮子上坐。OK，So，他呢，他就说清传法轮，他教我们有机会请法，那就是一位居士的所做的事情是非常重要的一件事情，就说当时在旧金山，在金山寺，师父要把一部经，应该是《金刚经》吧？Someone can correct me。快讲完了，然后果州居士，果州 David Round， 他就拿一支香，就绕佛，就拜三拜，然后呢跪下就说 I would like, he said, I don't know what I'm doing, but I think I should do this. I would like to invite Venerable Master, please, to explain to us the Earth Store Bodhisattva Sutra, something like that. It might not have been the Earth Store Sutra. 然后呢，上人就立地就说：“你们各位要注意这件事情太重要。有一位我的弟子，一位美国居士，能在这个时候，在这个地方知道请法，这是续佛慧命，这是法轮常转的很重要的一位行为，大家要注意。”然后赞叹果州，我们的果州不错，你能这样说，我为什么我没有做？太有很有善根，很有智慧，这样子。So 我都记得为什么这么重要呢？因为无论谁上人说谁有1分智慧，就要讲1分；有100分佛法。知道100分佛法，一定要讲100分你知道多少要讲多少所以万佛城每个星期天我也轮流这个十回向品，我已经讲了恐怕8年吧，还没讲完。这一品呢比较长不就是1个礼拜1次还有常常的海外，所以不是每一个礼拜了所以讲得很长没有讲完不过呢还是喜欢 讲经。所以呢，各位要知道，这个请转法轮是不是那么简单的一件事？ Now， 我还有补充，就是说，因为现在是那个疫情过了之后，多数呢是在网上讲经，所以机会多，不必就是当地的居士来请，谁都可以的。好比说呢，今天晚上 Elaine 她在 Castro Valley，Castro Valley 是旧金山的校外一个地方，她应该在家里请，然后。金勇师是我们星期万佛城的哪一天晚上哪一个人讲经，应该是金勇比丘金勇法师在那儿安排。他现在在哪里？他就在澳大利亚。我明天晚上回去就会碰到，我就会把金佛寺40周年的 T 恤交给他。他会很高兴。金勇师，你喜欢绿的还是红的？不知道，我就安排了，应该是 medium 哈。OK， 好，都准备了。所以人在温哥华，在 Calgary， 就在这个Gold Coast， 然后 Castro Valley， 可以听经，可以听华严经，不容易哈。每天晚上就有这个讲法的机会，听法的机会，大家可以 volunteer， 可以举手说我也来听法，好吧？欢迎。Okay, because it's virtual, we can give everybody an opportunity to request Dharma. For example, on my desktop, you all see, here's the Buddha, here's a kookaburra. This is how the Dharma spreads in Australia. Even kookaburras understand to 听法, right? So this is a 会笑之鸟. This is a laughing kookaburra. And I speak Dharma for him all the time. 南无多宝如来，南无宝生如来. Right? 那个七如来圣号. Okay. So that's a little bit about these traditions. And as let's see, did I put it away? No, still here. As I was explaining it, I probably should tell everybody a little bit about this too, because there's a story here. This is called Acknowledgement of Country, and I'm introducing this as a new protocol before we begin a sutra. What is this about? The government of Australia has acknowledged in the past 3 decades that they say the first peoples, the first humans on planet Earth probably are the Aboriginal nation in Australia. And after the white people came to Australia, the Europeans, which was not very long ago, the Aboriginal folks have been there for 50, 60, 70,000 years. Their history goes back among the longest continuous culture. But when the Europeans came just 300 some years ago, 200 some years ago, they nearly wiped them all out. It was a disaster, for truly genocidal. And it took a long time for the Europeans to acknowledge it and say, we really, really need to look at our behavior and recognize how much we lost in the wisdom and the culture of the Aboriginal people in Australia, because their connection to land and to spiritual things and their ability to harmonize with their environment, it was unparalleled. And so, I believe it was the Prime Minister Hawke who said, from now on, he said, whenever there is a public event, particularly one where people gather together, we're going to begin this event with wisdom from the first inhabitants, the first peoples of this land, the First Nations, and acknowledge the way they did that humans are one part of the Dharma realm. Of course, he didn't use that language, that's Buddhist language, but we can, it's graceful, it's wise, it's grounded in reality, that when we come together, it's important to recognize the environment both external and internal, and the human element of wisdom that we continue, that we didn't originate. We are not the first peoples here. We are continuing humanity's presence amid heaven and earth. This is a very wise, humble, and graceful way, because it aligns us with the available wisdom of heaven, earth, and humanity that existed here. As I look around tonight here at Gold Buddha Monastery, we are all immigrants. Is there anybody here who traces their lineage back to the Squamish people of British Columbia? Probably not one, my guess is. So it's appropriate for us to say, we are here as citizens of the Dharma realm, and we would like to acknowledge the traditional customs, to learn the stories that come to us, and offer respects to the elders who carry on the human tradition of wisdom. It's not that we can also apologize for treatment, but that's historical fact. The point is that we are humanity, and we are the next chapter. And if we can be graceful and acknowledge who we follow, generations who follow us can do the same, and the Dharma can survive. So that's why I thought it's really important for us to pick up this custom. In Australia, if you get on a Virgin Australia or a Qantas Jetstar jet, and you go from Coolangatta in the Gold Coast down to Sydney, as the plane is about to land, one of the flight attendants will say, "We would like, on behalf of the Gadigal people of Sydney, to welcome you to country." We offer our respects. As the plane lands, they welcome to country. There's a very graceful custom that has taken off in Australia, this sense of acknowledging and welcoming. So I'd like to begin my sutra lectures with an acknowledgement. And so if it's City of 10,000 Buddhas and the Pomo people, we acknowledge the Pomo people. If it is, let's see here, how am I doing here? Keynote, view, range. So if it's, keep on moving here. If we are lecturing from Gold Buddha in Vancouver, it's the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh people. If we are lecturing from Berkeley, California, it is the Chocechno Ohlone people. In Gold Coast of Queensland, it's the Kombumerri people of the Ugambi language region. So wherever we are, there is a indigenous community that will want to learn the Dharma if we acknowledge our connection to their humanity, right? That's the idea. 就是说，我们在哪里不是第一队人来的。我刚刚问大家，我说这里今天晚上在金佛寺，有多少人就说是原住民。这里我说我们没有一个吧，我们都是移民来的，我们都是从海外别的地方来到这里。所以呢，我们如果承认原住民，这里原住民的智慧他们的传统，我们就可以接着从他们来学习就可以接着他们的智慧Could I ask you please to join the group? Do you want to not sit in the middle? Thank you. Appreciate that. Very kind of you. Just join in one of the seats here. Yeah. 阿弥陀佛。So 这样子呢，我们向这个澳大利亚的传统就学习了他们承认就是澳大利亚他们的原住民已经有多少？就说6万7万年的历史，我们人类最延长的继续的一种文化，所以呢，我们向他们来学习他们的智慧他们与天和地，就人这种的长者传统下来传下来的这些智慧，就是我们移民到澳大利亚就有200年的300年的历史的人 都可以学习很多了。这样子呢是有智慧，就是我们承认我们现在 stand on the shoulders， 就是说我们借着过去的人的传统文化和智慧，在我们后边来的下一代都可以接着继续我们的传统文化。所以呢，就是人类承认人类，我觉得这种方法是很不错的。所以呢，今天是 Muslim 人，还有因为可以说从万佛城替万佛城的法师来讲，我也变成万佛城的法师，虽然我常常不在万佛城，不过呢，就是 Pomo 人，在 Berkeley 讲法呢，那就是 Ohlone 人。那么在澳大利亚的时候，就是 Ugambe 语族的，就是孔布马里人他们的传统。So 我想把这个方法介绍给我们讲法的人。Okay, so that's a little bit about what we're doing when we do this Dharma request. Okay, now tonight, where are we? We are not that one. That'll come later. Shifu will ask you to rest a little bit here. There we go. Okay, we are right here. This is our 第七回向 7th dedication. 第七等随顺一切众生回向大方广佛华严经第25品那个卷第29。Okay, what's going on here? We are in the last 3 verses of the Chongsong, the repeating verses at the end of the 7th transference. What is the 10 transferences? Let me tell you quickly so we can kind of, I'd like to acknowledge as we go that tonight, let's see, talk about connecting to the wisdom traditions. There are 103 friends, Dharma friends online, and we come from, let's see here, my goodness, about half of the group. Some are from Washington State, some are from Ukiah, some are from, where else? Newbury Park and Los Angeles and Saratoga and Montreal, La Belle Province de Quebec. Some are from Singapore, some are from Dublin, Ohio, and Alameda, California, Sacramento, Union City. But then you go halfway along and things change, and people come from Jilunpo, Shanghai, Beijing, Harbin, Hangzhou, Anhui, Hefei, another whole half of the world. So about half and half of the cities around the world are in Asia, and the other half are in the another part of the globe, including down under, including Australia. So how wonderful to be joined online by so many Dharma friends. 这个太妙了，太微妙。每次没开始讲法之前，我想就念出来今天晚上的参加的人他们愿意听万佛圣城的佛法。可是他们的这个收听的地方都一半是在东方，一半是在西方，还有一半是在下边 down under 还有一些在 up over Okay, and 加拿大我们算 up over. Australia is down under, right? Okay, so now here we go back to our text. Here is the last 3 verses of the 10 transferences. And what is going on with the 10 transferences? Let me tell you about this. Okay, we mentioned Samantabhadra Bodhisattva, Pushen Pusa. He's kind of the quiet Bodhisattva. People don't really know much about him. We know about Guan Yin, we know about Restore, we know about Manjushri, but Pushen Pusa, who is he? He is Daheng Pushen Wang Pusa, and he has great practices. He has 10 particular vows that when we touch the Avatamsaka Sutra, they come up over and over and over again as the heart of the Dharma, and something that we really, really have to pay attention to, according to the Buddhas who want us to accomplish our vows. So that's Pushen Pusa. And those 10 vows finish, number 10, it's called 普结回向, transfer, dedicate merit everywhere. Okay, dedicate merit widely, universally. Okay, and what that means is, tonight you're listening to a sutra. What have we done today? Oh my goodness. We started out with morning chanting. Then we recited some verses. We recited Earth-Door Sutra. Then what else did we do? We went across the street and dedicated our new Manjushri pavilion. And then we listened to lion dance and taiko drumming. We sajing, we purified the boundaries. We came back, we did Shangtang Shuofa, the high meal offering verse. We did Shanggong, we made offerings to the Sangha, we enjoyed lunch. We came back, we did the Sangui Wujie. Wow, we had Wan Ke, then now we're listening. A lot of opportunities to cultivate, this is Buddhist language, good roots. These wholesome qualities. We are amassing goodness through practices that the Buddha passed on to us that are wholesome and harmless and increase our wisdom and our compassion. Really good things to do, and we do it as a group. And did everybody agree today? The energy was just superb. Everybody was working together. And because I get behind the curtain, behind the scenes, I got to see how hard the nuns worked in putting this program together. A tremendous amount of effort on behalf of the bhikshunis and volunteers, leading the lay people in doing all the hard work, in getting t-shirts printed, in getting these giant red banners printed up. We were half an hour before the morning, the groundbreaking ceremony, and here was Heng Sure. Heng Sure had her maobi dipped in black ink, and she was writing Li Shu, taking the words that I was going to speak on red paper very beautifully in ancient Li calligraphy to paste up on the wall so people could read what I wrote. And here was Heng Zhong, and Heng Zhong was so busy in her office just typing and doing 1,000 things, sending out 1,000 hands and 1,000 eyes, right? Just 手眼通天, this is Heng Zhong Sure doing 1,000,000 things. Our Master Heng Zhong, could you print out my talk? I'm sorry to give you one more thing. Sure, no problem. Won't print. Done. It's like, wow. And people were setting up chairs, and people were, cutting the grass and getting everything. 1,000 activities going on to make this 40th anniversary a success, to make it all work. Everybody had their role, everybody had their job. And I didn't see any fighting. Maybe you were hiding it from me, but I didn't see anybody fighting. Here comes Fasher, smile. Right? I don't know, probably not. But the energy was just terrific. And so, for the Dharma. And I want to say something. Nobody got paid a penny for the work that went on today. Did you notice that? Some of the things that aren't here when it's for the Dharma, there's nobody on a salary here at all. Where's the cash register? Where's the paycheck for all this? Not a penny, right? I didn't get paid for what I did today. And I was just one little part of all the things going on. The boys came up from the high school at City of 10,000 Buddhas to do this incredible lion dance. How hard that is what they were doing? It's really hard to do the things they did. And yet it seemed effortless because they practice and practice. And that's, I really would like to point to that, the fact that the motive for today was not profit. And look how well it went. How many times when things go wrong, it's because people are calculating for themselves? A lot, right? Self-benefit, so things, you're not really happy, calculating, 打算盘, So notice that. The events today were done for what? For the Dharma. They were done because it's a chance to work selflessly on behalf of something ancient and pure and good, the Buddha Dharma. And there's money cannot buy that. That feeling today, fa shi, joy in the Dharma, fa shi chongman, right? Did anybody else? I'm not the only one who felt it. Today was just wonderful. All of the work that went in. Monks traveling from Los Angeles, from Seattle, from Australia, coming from 23 nuns coming from all over the Dharma realm to go Buddha just to celebrate, because this is a worthwhile and a happy endeavor. I have to translate before I go too far or I'll forget what I said. So 就说今天我们等一下我们就我讲的是什么？就是善根怎么样回向回向这个法呢，是普贤菩萨教我们，他是大横普贤菩萨，有观音菩萨，有地藏菩萨，有文殊菩萨，还有第4位普贤菩萨，可能大家就陌生了，不知道了。他是有10个行为，就是诸佛尤其华严经就赞叹这个10种行为。先修行，我刚刚讲，我们从早上到现在，今天就积功累德，哇，很多行为，就修行什么善根。所谓善根，就是心内的这个好处，这个德行那我们修了很多很多。然后呢，我刚刚提到今天这个金佛寺的40周年，还有一个破土那个今天的气氛在这里呢特别特别殊胜，大家法喜充满。我下来看看，应该说在背后那个女众呢，法师们呢，还有义工的居士，大家忙得不得了，忙得真的你说手眼通天，什么都做了，哇，很多事。刚刚提到这个恒隆师我进去就有30分钟，我们就到外边去开始这个破土的仪式。他一个大的毛笔在那儿写隶书这个很文雅的这个毛笔字，写什么？我准备上堂说法的开示的那个文字，在红色的纸就写了，然后贴到墙壁上。然后恒众师在办公室里边听电话、打字、音调什么什么什么。太多了，然后所有的居士、所有的法师们都忙自己的了。可是呢，大家的就不争不贪，无所求，不自私不自利，在这里就准备给大家一个机会到金佛寺来，就说种善根，给大家机会修行。为什么今天那么殊胜、那么顺利呢？有一个原因，一定是因为没有一个人收1分钱来代价，没有一个人拿到薪水，没有一个人就收这个钱的这种目标不是为了自利，不是为了利益，完全是为了佛法，是为令大家欢喜，给大家机会修行。所以呢，结果呢，一切无障碍很顺利大家注意这一点所以呢就不必多讲了，大家明白So that's I think important thing to notice. Now let's take a look. We got to get to our text here. So let's keep doing that. There we go. Let's bring this one up. Here it is again. Okay. So first of all, we have Shangan. You have to cultivate good roots. But then, Samantabhadra says, give it away. Give it away. Take the wholesome cultivation that you create, and with your mind, just like a signal from a cell phone tower, That's our motto. We used to say from a lighthouse, but who's seen a lighthouse, anybody? So if you have a cell phone tower, it sends out the signal, mobile phone tower, 360 degrees. Anybody who's got one of these devices anywhere around the tower can pick up the signal. Use our minds like that and say, I dedicate this goodness to, that's where you fill in the blank, whoever you want to send it to, with the wish that, fill in the blank, whoever you want to send it to, and give it away. That's it. It's a second kind of giving with the mind. It's the giving of Dharma. And they say of all the kinds of giving Dharma is the highest kind because, now think about it. How does it work? Where in empty space is there a fence between my mind and your mind? Or a wall that prevents my thoughts from touching your thoughts? The answer is nowhere. Minds touch in space. They do. You know, somebody at your breakfast table who's in a bad mood, who's really upset, it ruins the whole breakfast. Right? Somebody's in the, just like you, without even speaking, you know when somebody's just really upset. When somebody is joyful and centered and glad and happy, you don't have to even look. You can feel the energy around that person. Because why? Our minds touch in space. The human mind is a powerful broadcasting tower. When we use the Dharma to send a gift of goodness out to the world, everybody picks it up. When you get good at it like a bodhisattva, you become this powerful source of goodness for the world. Transference of merit, 回向功德, dedication of merit. This chapter 25 of the Avatamsaka Sutra, is thousands of bodhisattvas' broadcasts, using the wholesome mind of a bodhisattva to send out that goodness. It's thousands of gifts. Over and over, the chapter says, and then the bodhisattva says, I dedicate this merit to living beings with the wish that. Right? That's what it is. It's one Dharma explained many, many different ways so that we can get it. And the thing is, if you understand this principle, you can give with your mind over and over during the day. Now, here's another point that I think is really important. If we have a wholesome thought in mind, and we've cultivated, let's say you want to cultivate a good root, everybody say Namo. Everybody, let's hear it. Namo. For good roots. That's it. That's all you need. Namo for, give it away. Right? You've just said, I praise the Buddha. I take refuge in the Buddha. 3 words. Namo for, take refuge. That's yo shangan, give it away. The sutra says over and over, you have one good root, one wholesome, virtuous action, you can give it away to all living beings. If you recite the Avatamsaka Sutra, 21 days, 如是我闻一世佛在摩羯帝国为众生大功德. How many good roots do you suppose were planted today here at Gold Buddha Monastery? A lot. A lot. Did we give it away? Over and over. Right? 皈依功德殊胜行愿以此功德 right? 萨埵南三藐三 over and over during the day. We are the Mahayana school of Buddhism. We practice dedication of merit over and over. It's that. That's what we're doing, and you're invited. Step into the practice. Just imitate the bodhisattva, and what happens is your mind gets happy. How can you be depressed when you're giving away gifts to the world using your mind? It's hard. The mind can't hold 2 competing thoughts at once. So put wholesome generosity, ru fa, according to the Dharma, out from your mind. Pretty soon your mood changes. Right? You're not upset. It's really wonderful, do-it-yourself therapy, Buddha style. OK， 那这个回向呢，就是普贤菩萨的第10个大愿。我们今天在金佛寺修了多少个善根，种下多少个善根，应该很多。哇，好多好多，多少次回向呢？刚刚你们都听了哈，愿以此功德受归功德萨多南，很多次。我们是汉传佛教，我们是大乘佛法这个回向每一次有一个善根，南无佛够了，就把那个念一声佛号南无佛，就用那个来回向所有众生，那就开始了。如果我们诵华严经21天了，那多少善根回向给一切众生？就是这样做呢，慢慢的，自己的 mood， 自己的境界都会改变，往善改善就不会犹豫，没有犹豫症。如果你用你的心来利益众生，布施，我把这个功德布施给人家了，哪有犹豫症是不是？所以这个是do it yourself DIY therapy， 就是愈好我们的心情很好，如法去做。Okay, three verses to go, and we're done with number 7. There are 10 different chapters within the chapter. I'll give you a line and you give it back to me. Ready? Here we go. Palms together, everybody. 大家合掌。菩萨了知诸法空，一切世间无所有，无有造作及作者，众生业报亦不施。Okay, now we're going to read this together, nice and slowly, using empty space to pause and breathe. Okay, we get to listen to our own voices reciting the Avatamsaka together in unison. Here we go. Ready? With me. Bodhisattvas know that all phenomena are empty. Pause, take a breath. And that nothing in the world actually exists. There is neither creation nor creator. Yet the karma of living beings endures. Oh my goodness, that is deep, profound prajna dharma. This is the teachings of wisdom. Is this compassion? Well, in a way, it's compassion. No, this is wisdom. It's looking at what? Emptiness from the Buddha's point of view. And this is deep. This is science. This is profound quantum dharma. Bodhisattvas know, because they have deep wisdom, that all phenomena, all things in the world are actually empty. Well, how is that empty? You heard that. Ouch. Right? Wow. That sounds not empty, does it? That's really, really there. And yet, if you took an electron microscope and went down into it, you discover that every single atom and particle of, I guess this is either wood or it's wood chips, actually has more space than it has solid. There's a nucleus, there's electrons, protons zooming around it. It's mostly space inside in terms of mass, right? And it comes together with this mutual electrical attraction to create this organic substance that used to be a tree. Now it's a piece of wood. You could do it that way, but that's not how the Dharma gets to emptiness. The emptiness that this sutra is reporting, that bodhisattvas know, comes from their meditation. They are able to sit and meditate and watch their own thoughts and realize that nothing in the world exists, including a creator. What does that mean? Sometimes when you're meditating, if you really, really sit still and things start to get hot, you realize that your body is not so solid. It's a buzzing set of earth, air, fire, and water held together by what? Habits, which is to say karma, habitual action, karma from the past. It made us into a man. It made us into a woman. It made us into a ghost. It made us into a deva currently. But change it a little bit, change the habit, and the electrical bonding changes, and we get sick, and then we recover, and then we, get old. I know about that one now. And my goodness, how dynamic and active and fluid is this thing called me. It's a work in progress. So if you go deeper, bodhisattvas meditate until their samadhi shows them that the mouth that I am speaking with now, the sounds that come out of it have to travel through space to your ear, and you have to interpret them and get meaning out of them. And 如果我现在就改了这个讲英语的人说，他怎么听不懂啊？稍微变了就听不懂，奇怪 right? And if you change into French, if you change into Japanese or Spanish, suddenly it all breaks apart. It's very fragile. And we give it this permanence because it continues and continues. But when you sit still, you recognize that it's just conditions coming together. All phenomena are empty. Nothing in the world has a permanent, long-lasting, irreducible identity. Creation and the creator are simply here based on conditions. However, while we are in this condition, the things we do actually have repercussions. There's a vector force as we launch our actions, words, and thoughts into space. There are vibrations, and those go out and touch other vibrations, and the karma comes back. Okay, so what is this? This is prajna dharma. Compassion? This is not, we're all connected. This is wisdom looking deeply at the nature of phenomena. Physicists in laboratories come closest to understanding this. Isn't that interesting, right? In Berkeley, we have a long-running conversation between the physics department of the University of California and the Berkeley Monastery. We come together to talk about, one time we had Henry Stapp come down, who's was chairman of the UC Berkeley Physics Department, and George Weissman and Doug Powers, and we took a teapot, we took a chahu, hong sha, zi sha hu, and we used physics and we used Buddhism to define what the teapot was. And you know how far we got into the conversation? We couldn't agree on what was a thing and what was an event and what was a dharma, the language. We got as far as the first thing. This is a dharma, this is an event, this is a thing. We couldn't agree what it was. So language is so thin. It's just using sounds to point at something that's changing as we look at it. How amazing. And with the Dharma, the Buddha says, yeah, take a look. This is the nature of reality. Don't attach. As soon as you think it's that, it's gone again, right? How wonderful to have our, quote, religion, our Buddhism, showing us this profound truth and saying, yeah, that's only part of it, but then there's compassion. We also don't want to harm. So you have to look at the wisdom and you have to come together to support each other towards kindness. There we are. That's the Buddha Dharma. The Bodhisattva is compassion and wisdom together. 就说菩萨因为有定力的关系了，所以呢，他知道一切万法皆空了。他说菩萨了知诸法空，这是什么？这是般若法，这是智慧的法，知道空，知道有。 就不是讲慈悲这个道理。这个4句偈颂就讲智慧，当然很深了，这不是孩子所了解的。一切世间无所有，为什么呢？因为作者也没有了啊！你打坐的时候，你就知道眼、耳、鼻、舌、身、意，就是4大地水火风临时结合。就因为习惯习气，才有这个人的身体，男人的身体，女人的身体，就是习惯，就是习气所来的，没有一定的法无定法。所以呢，怎么知道呢？这就是从定力，菩萨修行打坐，就自己可以体会到身体里边很多就是这个I'm running out of my vocabulary， 对不起，我的词不达意了哈。那么虽然人也空，法也空，众生业，我们就在这个夹合的身体里边所做的事、所讲的话、所想的思想，那是实在的，就会好像把一个石头支给一个水池子，这个摆动出来了，我们的行为就这样子。所以呢，这就是这个第一个偈颂呢，就是讲般若智慧啊。那么谁都可以体会到，不要听我的，你自己打坐你就知道了啊。Next one, here we go. Ready? We'll put this together. At the end of the verses, there's always the deepest stuff. Here we go. 诸法寂灭，非寂灭。远离此2分别心，知者分别是世间，入于正位分别尽。Isn't this a beautiful text? Look, it's got the Hanzi, it's got Hanyu Pinyin, and it's got the Goyan Zimu. If you're from Taiwan, you can read the Bopomofo. So 3 different ways of saying each character. Very beautiful. Okay, together we ready? Read with me. Here we go. All phenomena are still, yet not still. Bodhisattvas transcend such discriminations. They know that discriminations are merely worldly views. All discriminations end when awakening is realized. Okay. If I were translating it, I would probably use you. All discriminations end when you wake up. This is passive voice. When awakening is realized, it sounds like somebody else is doing it. All discriminations end when you wake up. Okay, so what is this? Again, this is Prajna Dharma. Last night, those of you who were here last night, we heard about the Bodhi resolve. We heard about a bhikshu, Haiyun Bhikshu, teaching Sudana about the Bodhi resolve, about Putishin, and he was talking about compassion and talking about rescuing beings from being afraid and things like that. Tonight, the same sutra is talking about emptiness, right? How when the Bodhisattva looks at all phenomena, he sees that they neither come nor go, and yet they're constantly in motion. Seems like a contradiction? It is not. You can experience it, right? Bodhisattvas go beyond duality. It's moving. They know it's both at the same time. They know that this is just the way the world views things, because otherwise we probably couldn't function if we could see everything at once. And when you wake up, like bodhisattvas have done, you can see it too. OK, 这也是这个般若法，就是空和有。昨天晚上这个海运比丘给善财童子讲慈悲，说人恐怖呢，你就可以你就发这个慈悲心，就让他们能离恐怖没有害心。今天晚上不讲慈悲，讲什么般若？同一部经还是华严经，不过呢，师父常常教我们说，华严经是最大的，包容万有包容一切。诸法寂灭，非寂灭就两个 同时存在，远离此二分别心。就说菩萨他没有二法，他的智慧超过这个二法。知足分别是世间的见解，没有开悟之前才有这个看法。入于正位，就说成佛有大智慧，已经二法不在。Okay, one more. Here we go. The last one. Are we ready? Join me. Here we go. 如是真实诸佛子，你们说如是。从于如来法化生，彼能如是善回向。世间疑惑悉除灭。Okay, are we ready? Here we go, together with me. Such are the true disciples of all Buddhas, transformed by the Tathagata's Dharma. Bodhisattvas thus skillfully make dedications, eradicating the delusions of all living beings. Okay, how wonderful. This is the concluding verse of the 7th dedication. You know what's next? I'll show you what's next. What's next is 第八回向. Here it is, all lined up, ready to go. The 真如相回向, number 8, the 8th dedication. There it is. We're going to dive into that starting next week. But tonight, here at Gold Buddha, I'm happy to finish number 7. I've been explaining number 7 for actually years now. So it's, for me, that's significant to finish it here with everybody. These are true disciples of the Buddhas, transformed by the cultivation that they do, the cultivation of the Dharma. Bodhisattvas dedicate merit skillfully. They're good at it by now. It's like their minds become a muscle, you could say. At first, if you're doing push-ups, you can do 2 of them, and then you get tired. Your arms hurt. After a while, you can do 10, and you can do push-ups for half an hour, right? When you dedicate merit, you get good at it the same way. And as they dedicate merit, their goal is to help living beings enter the Dharma, to break apart ignorance, and within ignorance in the mind, find their true Buddha's wisdom. That's their goal. So it could be talking about you, could be talking about me, any one of us, who today, tonight, just say, why do I let these minutes pass by emptily, looking for distraction, looking for entertainment, when I could be dedicating merit and turning my mind into this broadcast tower of goodness? Why don't I start now and just keep cultivating good roots and then giving it away, cultivating here and giving it away? If you do that, I guarantee the blues go away. This is an end to the blues, because you're using your mind in a wholesome, positive way, connecting to who? Pushen Pusa, Samantabhadra Bodhisattva, right? So these are true disciples of the Buddha who have already crossed over. They've been transformed from ordinary folks to bodhisattvas, and they dedicate merit skillfully to benefit others. Happy life. That's a life worth living. And you know, the friends you get when you do that, you're together with wholesome Kalyana Mitra, Shan Zhishi, wholesome Dharma friends. 就说最后一句，最后一首，就说这是真实诸佛子，从如来法化生，他们从佛法离开凡夫虚子的地位，一直到这个入流的圣人的地位啊，善知识很多啊，真正的善知识啊，彼能如是善回向，因为他们常常在那儿修行回向，立功立德，布施啊，用心来布施，做法布施，主供养中，法供养最，就这样子。世间疑惑悉除灭，他们愿意这样布施，希望众生的疑惑就除灭了，就自己成佛开悟正果啊。 好的 OK 第7当随顺一切众生回向中就结束了 Next week we will begin with the 8th transference and I will be back in Australia on a Sunday night. I hope that anybody who doesn't have anything else to do on a Sunday night, just go to where? I'll show you. I'll show you where to go. Go out to your browser and go to YouTube and pick up CTTB Live. That's me. I'm lecturing right there. I can't click it because it'll whoop, 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 right? It'll mess up. But see this live here? That's me. That's you. You're out there online tonight. So if you go out to City of 10,000 Buddhas Live, it's right there. Here's the channel. So go find City of 10,000 Buddhas Live. And there's not only me, there's a lot of Dharma here to listen to. Dharma talks. Let's see, what have we got? Let's look at the playlists. We've got Buddhist cosmology, lay people sharing after Fa Hui, lay Bodhisattva precepts, a movie that was made there, Science and Buddhism, Shifu's Dharma talks, introducing lay Bodhisattva precepts. Dharma Master Jinyong has a long series of Saja Pusajaya that he explains that people really enjoy. Anniversary of Shifu's Nirvana. Here's me, that's 10 Transferences, 6 Patriarch Sutra, other topics, etc. Okay, there's a lot here. So if you go out to YouTube, to City of 10,000 Buddhas Live, CTTB Live on YouTube, you can tune in. If it's Sunday night, listen to me lecture more of the 10 Transferences, but there's a lot of Dharma here. I know there are folks online tonight. Right now we have 112 people. Maybe half of them aren't able to get YouTube, but they can find other ways to, other channels to listen to. 就说如果下个星期天晚上7点半这里，如果你没有其他的事情呢，希望欢迎各位到 YouTube 这个 CTTB Live 就可以收听我们第8回向。还有很多这个 CTTB Live， 哇，很多很多的这个playlist， 很多的题目，就你们可以就说禅悦卫士法喜充满欢迎欢迎。Okay, now there's something that I haven't told you about that I do on Sunday night, which is kind of fun, and that is I take the last 15 minutes or so. Page 71, and I explain what? The story of a pilgrim. 大唐大慈恩寺三藏法师传 The biography of Master Xuanzang, who, you know, he's that famous guy, famous monk, probably the world's most famous Mahayana monk, who traveled from Chang'an in the Tang Dynasty, the first years of the Tang Dynasty, all the way to India. Spent years and years studying Sanskrit, packed a backpack full of sutras that were missing in China, that didn't exist in totality in China, and walked back all the way across the Himalayas, all the way across the Taklamakan Desert. How difficult was that? Well, NHK, the Japanese national TV broadcasting company, years ago, got helicopters, they got jeeps, they didn't have GPS back then when they did this, they got compasses and trackers and experts, and they tried to copy his route. They just got lost. They said out in the desert, they went to sleep at night and they woke up in the morning and all the sand dunes had changed overnight and they got lost. They couldn't do it. And he walked with an old red horse on foot all the way, following his vows, to India, got the sutras and brought them back and then translated them. So many, 300 scrolls worth of sutra translations. That's our famous Xuanzang Dashi. And so here's his story. It's just incredible. All the adventures he went through. So I just read them. I just tell stories about his life. And they're just incredible. We just had an episode where he has come where he's just passed Bamiyan, where the giant Buddha images were before the Taliban destroyed them? Afghanistan. He's made it through Afghanistan. He's coming through Pakistan, entering the boundaries of India, where the Buddha actually walked 2,500 years ago, the historical Buddha. So it's just, oh man, it's so exciting. Let me translate that. 还有一点就是每个礼拜，常常餐厅的这个旁听的居士们、法师们知道，我省下最后15分钟讲玄奘大师传的一部分。我们继续讲。玄奘大师呢，他是去印度取经的那位，应该说我们这个世界最出名的、最著名的一位汉传佛教的法师。他呢就做了人就不能做的事情，什么都不怕的。他在唐朝初就去印度取经，学习梵文，然后呢打个背包，装满300多卷的佛经正确的佛经带回来，然后呢回来中国就翻译。他的故事呢值得听值得讲，所以每个礼拜大家都可以继续听他的故事呢。哎呦 ，his stories are truly, truly wonderful. So I want to invite everybody to join me on Sunday night. Also, where do you go if you want to hear the Entering the Dharma Realm? 入法界品 You go to YouTube, Dharma Realm Live. This is the other channel. Here it is. Not there. Here it is. Okay, Dharma Realm Live. This is the broadcast from the Berkeley Monastery. And Friday night, you remember, we did Master Empty Cloud's biography, picture biography, Xu Yin La Shan Hua Zhuan. That's there. Here is the Avatamsaka. That was last night, Entering the Dharma Realm. I'll be live in 5 days. What does that mean? Am I not live now? I'm in trouble if I have to wait 5 more days to be live. Okay, of course, you understand. So here we go. This is, look at our playlists. We've got lots of videos to listen to. Friday noon lectures, Universal Door Chapter, Pumen Pin, Wu Jin Yi Jing. Here's Avatamsaka tonight is right here. Interestingly, if you go for videos and then you go for most popular, you know what's most popular? Bhikkhu Bodhi. Not us. Bhikkhu Bodhi's lectures, the most popular, 97,000. We invited the distinguished Theravada monk, Bhikkhu Bodhi, to come to Wanpochang to lecture on the Abhidharma. People loved his lecture. Look at him. Just 33,000. Then we have Buddha Root Farm music. We've got music, Dharma in music. She Carries Me. Here we go. So, music in the Dharma. We've got lots of good stuff. So come to Dharma Realm Live and enjoy the Buddha Dharma there, if you can get YouTube. Okay, so there you go. I thought it might be good to see here. Hide that. Come up with. Hold on here. Don't go away. Let's see here. Here we go, right there. Now we talked about Samantabhadra, and he has those 10 vows, and among them, one of the most powerful is number 4, which is called Chanhui Yejang, repent of karmic obstacles and change and renew. It's an opportunity to renew. Today here at Gold Buddha, we had a number of friends take refuge and take the precepts. And one of the most important parts of the precept refuge ceremony is the repentance part. And it's a way of cleaning up inside for things that we have done in the past, maybe in past lives, that now, because we've got some cultivation, they now arise to block us. So the Buddha, being compassionate, gave us a method. There it is. He gave us a method for cleaning up inside and returning to purity. It's called repentance. And when I did a pilgrimage to City of 10,000 Buddhas almost 40 years ago, more than 40 years ago, with every bow, I bowed down and I said, inside, I said, 往昔所造诸恶业，皆由我是残尘痴，从身语意之所生，一切我今皆忏悔, which translates into English as, for all the harmful things I've done with my body, speech, and mind, from beginningless greed, anger, and stupidity, through lifetimes without number, to this very day, I now repent and I vow to change entirely. So I'm going to sing it now again, just to let everybody hear it in English, and invite you to join me if you care to. For all the harmful things I've done with my body, speech, and mind, from beginningless greed, anger and stupidity, through lifetimes without number, to this very day, I now repent and I vow to change entirely. You're welcome to join if you like, it's pretty simple. For all the harmful things I've done with my body, speech, and mind, from beginningless greed, anger and stupidity, through lifetimes without number, to this very day, I now repent and I vow to change entirely. One more time. For all the harmful things I've done with my body, speech, and mind, from beginningless greed, anger and stupidity, through lifetimes without number, to this very day, I now repent and I vow to change entirely. The last two lines again, here we go. I now repent and I vow to change entirely. Telling me it's misspelled. Beginningless. There we go. Okay. Yeah, there's wonderful Samantabhadra wisdom to be learned there. We are now going to dedicate merit so we can finish on time so that CTDB, everybody can do the Zhou And here it is. This is your chance. How do you do it? You say, all the merit that I got from listening to the sutra tonight or the whole weekend, whatever it is, I want to dedicate it to, you decide who you want to give it to, with the wish that, fill in the blank. How do you want them to benefit? Okay? 我们现在就准备回向，自己可以回向哈，就把今天听经的功德呢回向给谁，希望他们怎么样怎么样，你自己可以回向，这是你们的愿。Okay, here we go. May every living being, our minds as one and radiant with light, share the fruits of peace with hearts of goodness, luminous and bright. If people hear and see how hands and hearts can find in giving unity, may our minds awake to great compassion, wisdom, and to joy. May kindness find reward, may all who sorrow leave their grief and pain. May this boundless light dispel the darkness of our endless night. Because our hearts are one, this world of pain turns into paradise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise. And now, to conclude, we invite you to join us in bowing to the Buddha right from where you're sitting. We will bring up the Buddha on the screen, and here we go. 3 bows. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. Bow in respect to the Venerable Master. Okay, that's going to do it for us for tonight. See you all next week. Amitofo. Good night, everybody. Amitofo.